Solve and graph your solution. Write the answer in interval notation. But beware, because in the following inequality the absolute value symbols are not isolated, we must first get rid of everything outside of the bars. The only thing outside of the bars right now is a -1, so we can add 1 to both sides of the inequality. We now have the absolute value of 3x plus 4 is less than 1. We have 2 bars. We're going to write 2 equations. The first equation, 3x plus 4, is still less than +1. We also have 3x plus 4 is greater than -1. Because of this negative sign, the inequality changed its direction. So we're going to solve both of these inequalities. Isolating x, we'll add a -4 to both sides and have 3x is less than -3. Now again, if you're adding any number, positive or negative, the inequality will not change. Continuing to get x alone, we can get rid of the 3 by multiplying both sides of the inequality by 1/3. And multiplying by a positive number does not change the way the inequality points. So we have x is less than -1. Now that's only half of our answer. The other half comes from this inequality, where we also must isolate x, adding a -4 to both sides of that inequality. We have 3x is greater than -5, and continuing to get x alone, multiplying both sides of the equation by 1/3 again. We now have x is greater than -5/3. So this started as a less than, which usually implies that you will have answers trapped between 2 numbers. So if we go to graph this, x is less than -1. We would circle -1. We would leave that circle open because inequality is strictly less than. We also have to find 5/3. Well, -5/3 is somewhere between 1 and -2. And that's making it a little difficult to do. I have an idea. Let's go back and change what this scale is. Let's divide everything by 3, and then it'll be easier to find the numbers that we're talking about. Now an open circle means it's not included, so even though I can't erase that open circle, I can just leave it there. -1, which is the other number I'm trying to identify, is the same thing as -3 divided by 3. And the other number we're looking for is -5/3, and so we can circle that one as well. Both these circles are open because it is strictly greater than, strictly less than, there's no or equal to, and I want the numbers that are between these two. How do I know that? Well, let's test -4 in the original equation. We would have the absolute value of 3 times -4 plus 4, the absolute value, minus 1 is less than 0. Squeezing that in there. Sorry about that. So now we have -12 plus 4, that's in absolute values, subtract 1 is supposed to be less than 0. The absolute value of -8 minus 1 is less than 0. The absolute value of -8 is 8. 8 minus 1 is 7, and 7 is less than 0. So this is a true statement. Part of our request in the instructions was to write our answer in interval notation. So our interval notation for this would be starting at -5/3, continuing to -1, and stopping.